In the shadows where few dare to look lies the power that transforms destinies. A power not gained by chance, but by strategy. A power forged in mystery, in the unseen, in what only those who understand the principles of dark psychology and the philosophy of Machiavelli can recognize. While the world chases appearances, the fleeting shine of false confidence, there are those who play the game unnoticed, moving the pieces in silence, always one step ahead. Machiavelli understood what others never will. True strength does not lie in brute force, but in manipulation, in the sharp mind that knows when to act, when to stay silent, when to appear, and when to disappear. While others drown in their insecurities, the strategist does not hesitate. He moves forward with conviction, relentless, merciless. He needs no one's approval because he knows the world responds to those who project power. No matter how empty they are inside, doubt consumes you, dragging you into an abyss where all you can do is stare at your fear. But those who master dark psychology, those who understand that power lies in the shadow, not in the reflection, move forward relentlessly, leaving others trapped in their own maze of insecurities. Here, there is no place for weakness. Here, only the bold survive, those who feed on strategic stillness and unshakable calm, those who have mastered the art of manipulation. The rest will fall, dragged down by their own fears and frustrations. The question is, are you ready to uncover what hides behind the curtain? Are you prepared to see the world through Machiavelli's eyes, where everything is a game, but the game is yours? Are you willing to see the world through the lens of dark psychology, where truth is never shown but hidden, waiting to be revealed only to those who dare to step into the shadows? Subscribe to this channel if you like what you see, like and share. Act I. The game of power is not something granted by birth, nor is it a position obtained by divine right. It is a game played in darkness, where moves are not made in plain sight but within the shadows. This is the first principle Machiavelli understood clearly. Those who seek power must not wait for it to be given, they must take it strategically. Power is a battlefield, but not one fought with swords or weapons. It is fought with the mind and with human emotion. Only those who play this game with cunning and patience survive. Most people, those who believe they are powerful, are in fact mere pieces on the board. They do not realize they are being controlled, manipulated by forces they cannot see. They think they are in charge, that they control their destiny, yet they are puppets of a system completely foreign to them. While they cling to the illusion of power, the true players watch from the shadows, moving the pieces in their favor without anyone noticing. The mind of these strategists is their greatest weapon, able to move pieces unseen without showing weakness. Machiavelli knew that power is not gained through force, but through intellect. Brute strength, while effective at times, never guarantees long-term control. True power lies in the manipulation of perception, in the ability to influence others without their awareness. Power is built through the art of persuasion, through the skill of making others do what you want without them realizing your true intent. This is not achieved with violence, but with subtlety and emotional control. The ability to influence emotions is what allows a true leader to command the masses. Dark psychology intertwines perfectly with this philosophy. Understanding how the human mind works, how people are drawn to power and fear losing it, is key to mastering the game. Great strategists not only understand how to manipulate others, but also how to manage their own emotions to project an image of unbreakable power. The true master does not let emotions control him. He uses them to his advantage, maintaining an external calm, while his thoughts and actions are perfectly aligned with his goals. Calmness is the fertile ground where power grows. Those who play the game of power also understand that silence is as powerful as any word. While most people exhaust themselves speaking, seeking validation, the true strategist remains silent, observing, waiting. Silence creates uncertainty and fear, two powerful tools in the arsenal of those who know how to use them. Through silence, power is projected with a force that words could never achieve. Those who talk too much or reveal their cards too early are doomed to lose. True power lies in the ability to make others wonder what's going on in your mind, what plans you're crafting in silence. The mind is the masterpiece that controls all the others. If one wishes to play the game of power, one must first learn to master their own mind. Whoever controls their mind controls their destiny, and by controlling their destiny, can control others. Machiavelli understood that power is not something one receives. It is something one takes. And to take it, one must understand the psychology of those who possess it and those who desire it. One must know how to manipulate the perceptions of others, how to plant doubt and fear, and how to maintain control without ever resorting to violence. Only then, in shadow and in silence, can one become brutally respected and feared. Act 2. The manipulation of perception. Dark psychology, a subtle and profound art, is based on manipulating perception. Perception defines how we see the world, how we interpret what surrounds us, and within it lies true power. Most people believe they are free, convinced that their decisions come from free will, but in reality, they are trapped in a web woven by those who know how to control what they see and what they believe. What we consider our reality is, to a large extent, an external construction. The true strategist understands that control does not lie in visible actions, but in how the human mind interprets those actions. Machiavelli understood that power is not gained by directly subjugating others, but by controlling what they think about their own actions. Real power lies in making others believe they are making their own decisions, while in truth, they are playing the game you designed. The ability to manipulate others' perception is what separates great strategists from those who merely seek to impose their will. Machiavelli knew that the most cunning ruler doesn't need brute force. He needs to craft an image, an illusion, that allows others to feel in control, while in the shadows, the strategist moves the pieces to his advantage. It's important to understand that manipulating perception isn't about blatantly deceiving others, but about creating a narrative that makes them believe what you want them to believe. The best manipulator doesn't need to lie outright. Instead, he adjusts elements of reality so that others arrive at the conclusions he wants. Though power may seem like a direct clash between opposing forces, in truth, it comes down to the ability to project an image, a story, so that others become your allies without realizing it. This is Machiavelli's true power, to create a stage where everyone believes they're playing by their own rules, when in fact, they're merely pawns in a much larger game. Dark psychology teaches us that the human mind is easily influenced. We are constantly receiving information from our surroundings, yet we rarely question it. Emotions, memories, and desires are powerful engines that shape how we interpret situations. The master manipulator knows that emotions are the perfect vehicle for altering perception. If you can influence how someone feels about a situation, you can completely change their view of reality. Manipulation doesn't always have to be aggressive. It can be as subtle as a change in tone of voice, body language, or the way a story is told. These small details create a reality that isn't necessarily false, but one that has been carefully directed toward a desired outcome. Machiavelli taught us that the key lies in the invisibility of control. The great manipulator is never recognized as such. Instead, people feel drawn to him, follow him, and believe they are acting of their own free will. This kind of power is not exercised physically or aggressively. It is wielded through the creation of a compelling narrative, through an image that adapts to the desires and expectations of others. A leader who can manipulate perception doesn't need to use force. His power comes from his ability to construct a reality that benefits him. The manipulation of perception turns a ruler into an almost mythical figure, respected and feared, without anyone realizing the true extent of his control. The true power of perception manipulation is absolute control. When you make others see the world through your lens, you control their destiny. In politics, in business, and even in personal relationships, the ability to influence how others view reality is what places you at the top. Those who master this art are not merely leaders. They are invisible puppeteers, pulling strings without being seen. This is the power Machiavelli understood so well. The ability to make everyone play by your rules, without ever realizing that you wrote them. The manipulation of perception is not just an art. It is the foundation upon which true power is built. Act 3. The fortress of solitude, Machiavelli understood a truth that most people never come to grasp. Power does not come from crowds nor from dependence on others, but from the ability to be alone and make decisions from that solitude. While the world runs in pursuit of validation, seeking approval and support, the true strategist knows that real strength lies in independence. He does not need the company or backing of the masses to affirm himself. Solitude is not a sentence, it is fertile ground for power, a space for reflection and for forging the path to control without the distractions of others' opinions. Power in solitude lies in the ability to strip away external influences. The opinions of others and social pressures dilute clarity of thought and strategic decision-making. The strategist who constantly surrounds himself with people loses objectivity as he begins to make choices based on others' expectations. Machiavelli knew that the one who faces the world alone, without seeking validation from his surroundings, becomes immune to manipulation. Only in solitude does one have the necessary space to reflect, to analyze situations deeply, and most importantly, to design strategies free from social interference. The true strength of a leader is not demonstrated through constant action, but through his ability to remain firm in solitude. While others seek refuge in the company of their followers, the true master of strategy knows that it is in stillness where the most powerful ideas are forged. Solitude allows the mind to expand and examine the entire landscape, unbounded by the limitations that other voices might impose. In solitude, ideas are free from judgment. They evolve without restrictions, growing in depth and complexity. These are the ideas that transform realities and change the course of history. It is also in solitude that the most dangerous plans are forged, because there is no fear of criticism. When surrounded by others, external criticism can influence decisions and stifle the impulse toward action. In the stillness of solitude, ideas can mature without fear of being judged, and it is that process which makes a strategist unstoppable. A plan born from deep reflection is far stronger and more dangerous than one formed under the pressure of external expectations. Thus, solitude becomes the breeding ground for invincible strategies, those that cannot be altered by public opinion or external interference. Dark psychology emphasizes that the ability to be alone is the ability to master oneself. While others constantly seek company and recognition, the strategic leader grows stronger through emotional and mental independence. Within this space of self-definition lies absolute control over one's emotions and decisions. The fear of solitude is a weakness others exploit to keep us in a state of dependence. But those who understand the psychology of power know that solitude is the highest expression of freedom. Only those truly free from the opinions of others can be both feared and respected at the deepest level because they have learned to govern themselves. Solitude is where a strategist transforms into something far greater than the individual he once was. In the stillness of solitude, power is not merely formed, it is refined. Those who have the courage to be alone, to live without external validation, are the ones who master the game of power. Solitude grants them a clarity inaccessible to those trapped in the constant search for approval. Thus, the strategist not only gains self-respect but becomes a figure who inspires both reverence and fear, for his power lies in the strength of his independence. Act 4. The strength of rejection. Rejection, in most minds, is seen as the end of a path, a sign of failure or personal defeat. However, according to Machiavelli's philosophy of power, rejection is not the end, but the beginning of something far greater. Machiavelli understood that true power does not come from easy victories or widespread acceptance, but from the ability to transform defeats into stepping stones toward greater heights. While others fall into despair and frustration in the face of rejection, the true strategist sees an opportunity to reinvent and strengthen himself. Rejection, therefore, becomes a powerful weapon in the game of power. Rejection is a closed door, a barrier that may seem insurmountable to those who do not understand its purpose in the strategist's journey. Yet, instead of mourning that barrier, the master of dark psychology knows that every closed door is a sign to seek another path, a better path toward the desired goal. In this sense, rejection becomes an indication that the current path is not the right one, and that it is time to adapt, evolve, and redirect. It is an invitation to explore new options and opportunities previously unseen. While others remain trapped in failure, unable to see beyond the pain of rejection, the true leader is already planning his next move. What distinguishes a successful strategist is his ability to see rejection not as an obstacle, but as a profound lesson. Each time something fails to go as expected, the strategist steps back and calmly analyzes what went wrong, what can be learned, and how to adapt. Machiavelli knew that great leaders do not settle for easy success nor fear failure. They see every fall as an opportunity to refine their approach, to evolve, and to rise above challenges. Rejection becomes the engine of continuous improvement. And it is this mindset that allows them not merely to survive, but to thrive in a world full of uncertainty and adversity. While others drown in anger, frustration, or self-pity after rejection, the true strategist remains calm, in control of his emotions and thoughts. It's not that he doesn't feel disappointment. Rather, he knows how to channel it constructively. Instead of being consumed by resentment, he uses rejection as fuel to move forward, with clearer vision and sharper strategy. Dark psychology teaches that emotional control is the key to not being enslaved by external circumstances. True power lies in the ability to remain calm while the world around you collapses. Rejection also tests a leader's resilience. Machiavelli understood that those who surrender to rejection will never attain true power, for power is not a gift, it is a constant conquest. The path to power is filled with falls, rejections, and obstacles. Leaders who give up at the first sign of adversity never reach their full potential. Only those who can withstand the blow of rejection, learn from it, and move forward with renewed determination are the ones who truly attain power. It is through overcoming rejection that a strategist is forged, his skills perfected, and his true authority solidified. Rejection is the force that shapes the leader, transforming him into a figure both respected and feared. The ability to persevere and evolve through rejection not only grants power, but also builds an image of unbreakable strength. While others sink into defeat, the strategist keeps advancing, unstoppable, knowing that each fall is merely a step toward his ultimate dominion. Machiavelli understood that true power is not found in acceptance, but in the ability to overcome rejection with dignity, strategy, and unyielding will. True greatness is not forged in moments of success, but in the way one faces rejection, turning it into a stepping stone towards something greater. Act 5. The power of unease. True power does not lie in being loved or followed by all, but in being feared by some, in awakening a sense of unease in those who cross your path. Machiavelli understood that fear. More than love is the fuel that keeps others alert to your every move. While love may draw people closer and make them follow you, fear creates an invisible barrier that places you above them. Those who fear you keep their distance, watching every move you make, knowing that any of your actions could alter the course of their destiny. This is the most real and effective form of power, one built not on the warmth of admiration, but on the intensity of fear. Unease is the most powerful weapon a strategist can wield. When your presence disrupts the calm of others, you are already controlling the space around you. Those nearby begin to question your every gesture, your every word. They grow uncertain, afraid that something unexpected might happen if they fail to follow your rules or meet your expectations. This uncertainty not only weakens them, it turns them into chess pieces under your control. Through unease, you create an atmosphere where others feel as though they are walking on thin ice, always on the verge of falling, never sure of what might come next. The control of the human mind is, ultimately, what guarantees true power. Machiavelli knew that to rule, one must learn to handle both the perceptions and the fears of others. Power is not gained through direct imposition, but through shaping how others think and behave. The ability to plant unease, to keep others in a constant state of uncertainty, is a form of psychological manipulation few understand, and even fewer master. When a figure evokes unease, they control not only immediate actions, but also how others think, react, and prepare to face them. Dark psychology teaches that fear and uncertainty are more effective than any positive reward. When people do not know what will happen or how to act to avoid negative consequences, they feel completely out of control. That very sensation of helplessness keeps them alert and, most importantly, dependent on you. The strategist does not need violence or physical coercion. His power comes from the mind, from creating an environment where fear of the unknown is enough to make others obey without question. The power of unease also lies in its ability to wear others down. Uncertainty keeps people in a constant state of vigilance, an endless cycle of anticipation that drains their mental energy. This constant alertness makes them vulnerable, as their minds become consumed with watching for threats, analyzing your every small gesture, while you remain calm, controlling the situation from the shadows. This emotional and mental exhaustion is what causes those who fear you to lose control, while you maintain it firmly in your hands. Unease allows the strategist to become a figure of absolute power. The ability to keep others in a constant state of uncertainty not only grants control over them, but also builds an invisible barrier between those who fear you and those who follow you. Fear is the key catalyst that elevates you above others, allowing you to manipulate situations in your favor without anyone daring to challenge you. One who knows how to sow unease does not need to impose authority through force or visible control, because his mere presence is enough to make others align with his will. Act. The art of patience power is not always achieved through immediate action, but through the wisdom of knowing when to wait. Machiavelli's philosophy emphasizes that a leader's true strength lies not in impulsive decisions, but in strategic patience. Many believe power is gained through swift, visible movements, but those who understand its dynamics know that impulsive action rarely leads to lasting victory. True power, instead, is cultivated through patience, a patience that allows one to observe, analyze, and wait for the precise moment to act. While others rush forward in their anxiety for quick results, the true strategist remains steady, knowing that time is his greatest ally. Patience is an invisible form of strength that moves the pieces of the game without anyone noticing. While the masses rush frantically in their urgency, the strategist takes the time to assess the entire landscape, recognizing every variable in play. He is not swept away by emotion or external pressure. Patience allows him to see what others cannot see, hear what others do not hear, and understand what others fail to comprehend. This is silent power, moving imperceptibly, influencing outcomes without direct action, yet maintaining absolute control over the final result. Time, when used wisely, becomes a formidable ally. Machiavelli knew that great leaders do not rush to seize power. They allow it to develop gradually under their constant vigilance. Patience does not mean inaction. It means deliberate focus on what is yet to come. It is the ability to recognize that every move counts. That victory is not about doing more, but about doing the right thing at the right time. Speed may seem like a virtue, but true virtue lies in knowing when to wait, and in acting only when conditions are most favorable. In dark psychology, patience becomes a tool to wear others down. While others exhaust themselves with haste, the strategist remains calm, watching his rivals lose control. The anxiety and urgency of those who act without thinking become their own undoing. He who knows how to wait knows how to make time work in his favor, allowing circumstances to align while others burn out chasing instant solutions. This patience becomes a form of control, for the strategist not only manages his own timing, but also dictates the pace of everyone around him. According to Machiavelli, the best move is not the one made quickly, but the one made precisely, when every factor has been calculated and understood. A wise leader knows that every action must be carefully weighed, and that haste leads only to error. Patience is not merely waiting, it is an active process of preparation, observation, and evaluation. The strategist waits, adjusts, and observes as the pieces arrange themselves. Only when the moment is right does he act, ensuring that every move has maximum impact. The art of patience also lies in mastering one's emotions and those of others. In a world of chaos and uncertainty, those who can maintain composure dominate the game. Patience is not the absence of action, but the ability to remain internally calm while everything around you collapses into disorder. By mastering the art of patience, the strategist becomes an imposing figure, respected and feared, because he knows his power is not measured by what he achieves quickly, but by what he can accomplish when all circumstances align in his favor, in his time and under his control. Act 7, the mastery of control. Control, in its purest form, is the culmination of everything a strategist strives to achieve. It is not merely about dominating others physically or imposing your will through brute strength, but about possessing absolute command over situations and over the minds of those around you. Machiavelli understood that true power resides in the mind. It is not strength that grants control, but the ability to anticipate, manipulate, and direct the actions of others before they even realize they are being guided. He who controls the mind controls everything else. This is the most refined form of power, one that is exercised without a single overt move, simply by guiding the pieces from the shadows. A cunning strategist does not need to attack his enemies directly or flaunt his strength openly. The true master of power knows that the key lies in anticipation. Knowing what others will do before they do it is what separates a player from a pawn in the game of power. This kind of control is not achieved through aggression, but through patience and cunning. While others act impulsively, the strategist takes his time to study, analyze, and predict every move. By anticipating his rival's actions, he positions himself to win without a single act of aggression. It is control exercised through the mind, a mental influence that subtly infiltrates others until they follow the path he has already mapped out for them. Dark psychology reveals that people are more influenced by what they fear than by what they desire. A leader who knows how to manage the fears of others can control them without lifting a finger. It is not violence that inspires fear, but uncertainty and the feeling of vulnerability. Machiavelli understood that true leaders do not impose power through force, but by creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and mental control. When others do not know what will happen, when they feel unsure of how to act or react, that is when a strategist holds the advantage. This kind of mental control is the purest and most effective form of power, because those who possess it never need to resort to physical force to assert themselves. Control also lies in inner calm. A truly powerful leader is one who remains serene while the world around him collapses. While others surrender to panic, anxiety, or despair, the strategist stands firm, never losing composure. Machiavelli knew that self-control is the first step toward controlling others. Calmness is the reflection of a trained mind, one capable of maintaining clarity even in the most chaotic circumstances. It is this serenity that inspires both respect and fear, because those who observe you know that even when everything around them is falling apart, you remain in complete command of the situation. Control is not only about directing the actions of others, but also about mastering one's own reactions. The ability not to yield to emotion or provocation is what separates a leader from a follower. Absolute self-control is the foundation upon which the greatest power is built. By mastering your emotions and reactions, you project an image of invulnerability. Others, seeing your composure, will feel compelled to follow you, perceiving you as someone capable of handling any challenge without losing calm. This kind of personal control is what makes a leader both respected and feared, because they know you will never act impulsively, but always at the exact moment with precise strategy. The mastery of control is the ability to direct others without them realizing it. A leader who truly controls the situation does not need to impose his will through direct or aggressive commands. Instead, he guides people to make decisions that seem to be their own, when, in reality, he has orchestrated them from the start. This type of control is the most effective because it creates no resistance. When others believe they are acting of their own free will, but are in fact being guided, the control is absolute. This is the essence of Machiavellian philosophy, the ability to manipulate events, people, and perceptions from the shadows, without ever having to display power explicitly. In this way, the strategist becomes a figure who, though invisible, wields an influence that cannot be challenged. Act 8. The game never ends. The game of power never truly ends. It merely changes shape, reinventing and adapting to new circumstances. Machiavelli understood that those who pursue power superficially, those content with quick and easy victories, soon lose relevance. True power is not measured by visible triumphs, but by the ability to stay in the game, always one step ahead, always adapting, always bending circumstances to your favor. While others face defeat and downfall, the strategist perseveres. For real power is both conquered and sustained through time, by resilience and intelligence. Power is never static. It transforms and evolves according to context, yet it always remains under the control of those who understand it. Machiavelli taught that the successful strategist knows the game never stops. Only the way it is played changes. The key to power lies in the ability to adapt and to play at a higher level than everyone else. Those who play only on the surface risk losing quickly, but those who see the full landscape, who understand that the game is always in motion, are the ones who prevail. Power is never obtained by chance, but through the ability to adapt and continue playing strategically, no matter the obstacles. The true master of power is never satisfied with winning a single battle. He ensures that the rules of the game are always his own. Victory is not merely the final outcome. It is the process of making others play by your terms. Machiavelli teaches that a strong leader does not seek to impose his will by force, but through the manipulation of circumstances. Real power does not lie in taking what is yours through strength, but in creating a situation where others, unknowingly, are playing on your field. Thus, every step they take is determined by you, even when they believe they are acting independently. The most dangerous thing for a rival is not understanding how you reached your position. Machiavelli taught that true power is invisible, not because it cannot be seen, but because those who wield it do so with such subtlety and calculation that others never grasp the process behind their actions. The key lies in your ability to make enemies and competitors follow your lead without realizing they are being manipulated. When they cannot understand the mechanism behind your rise, they cannot counter it. This generates a respect born of mystery and fear of the unknown. Respect for someone whose strength is felt, yet whose source remains incomprehensible. Dark psychology reveals that people fear what they do not understand, what they cannot predict. In this sense, the most feared strategist is the one who has perfected the art of invisibility, the one who moves the pieces unseen. While others seek admiration and validation for their victories, the true leader ensures that his mere presence is enough to command respect. It is not necessary for others to understand how you reached your position, only that they feel the weight of your influence and power in every one of their actions. Fear, fueled by uncertainty, is the most powerful tool in the psychology of power, because it keeps everyone around you in a constant state of vigilance. What truly matters is not immediate victories or tangible achievements, but the ability to make others play by your rules without them realizing it. True greatness is measured by how a leader can turn the game to his advantage without anyone noticing. As Machiavelli knew, victory does not lie in direct action, but in the ability to create an environment where power is already in your hands before anyone realizes the final move has been played. The game never ends, because while others keep searching for their next move, the strategist stands at the top watching, waiting for the perfect moment to act again. Here are 2 more videos that will give you a higher rank in psychological power. Go check them out.